Our topic today is a bit complicated. You have to have an idea about the normal process of pregnancy. So you have to review those. You can open your resources for this one so that you'll be able to participate during our discussion. So our next topic for this midterm is we're going to discuss your nursing care. We're going to discuss your nursing care. Nursing care of high risk, okay? Of high risk. So nursing care of high risk, okay, postpartum client, okay, high risk, high risk women, high risk women during labor and delivery, labor and delivery. So nursing care of high risk women during labor and delivery. For this one, we are going to discuss. As part of the discussion, we're going to discuss problem in each of the categories from the power, the passenger, the passageway, and the passage. So if you still remember, when we talk about power, we are referring to the force of labor, and when we talk about the passage, that is referring to the vaginal wall itself or the vagina itself. Then we also have your problems with conditions related to the passenger, which means to say, referring to the fetus, including the placenta or the content of the uterus, and also the last one is the psyche. When you talk about psyche, the psychological factor, okay, or the emotional support during pregnancy. Okay, now during delivery, start natin muna yung number one, problems with the power. So problems with the power. So these are the conditions, okay, that are common related to the problems in your power or the force of contraction during your labor process. For the force of contraction during labor process, we are going to start the condition with number one, your ineffective uterine contraction. So let's write there, ineffective uterine contraction. Ineffective uterine contraction. So when we talk about ineffective uterine contraction, okay, or in contraction or force. So ineffective uterine contraction is actually divided, or we have three conditions here. We have your hypotonic, hypertonic, and your uncoordinated contraction. So under your ineffective uterine contraction, uterine should I say, urine. Okay? Ineffective uterine contraction, so we will start with number one here under this category. We will start with hypotonic contractions. So from the word itself, hypotonic contractions, you already have an idea of what the condition is. From the word itself, hypo means to say there is a low or infrequent. Low or infrequent. Low or infrequent uterine contractions. There is a low or infrequent uterine contractions which is amounting to less than 2 to 3. Less than 2 to 3 contractions. So there is less than 2 to 3 contractions in 10 minutes. There is less than 2 to 3 contractions in 10 minutes. So sa loob ng 10 minuto, may 2 hanggang 3 lamang po, or less than 2 to 3 contractions in 10 minutes. Okay? So in 10 minutes, we're supposed to have at least 2 to 3 contractions. However, in this case, it's either there is none or too little, like for example, 1 contraction in every 10 minutes. And that is too low. Meaning, if this condition would progress, okay, or if this condition would continue, probability is that the uterus will not have enough contraction to prepare or to push the fetus outside of the uterus. So ano yung nagiging force dito, sir? Okay, hypotonic contraction, okay, may have a resting, okay, resting. It may have a resting tone. It may have a resting tone of the uterus. It may have a resting tone of the uterus. that is remain less than, let me repeat that, resting tone of the uterus remain less than 10 millimeter mercury. Less than 10 millimeter mercury. And strength of contraction does not rise or increase above 25 mmHg. 25 mmHg. Okay, 25 less than or more than 25, okay, does not rise more than 25 mmHg. So basically, nasa 25 millimeter mercury lang po ang kanyang force. So we are referring here about the pressure. Okay? So commonly, your hypotonic contraction happens during the active phase of labor. So during the active phase of labor, it is expected that during this phase, ano mangyayari dito? There should be a frequent and forceful contraction. Kaya kasi tinawag na active phase of labor. Ibig sabihin, the body is now trying to expel the fetus under this phase. However, since there is a hypotonic condition wherein there is decreased contraction and lesser contraction force than usual, the baby would stay longer doon or inside the fetus or inside the uterus, should I say. Now, what are the risk factors, sir? What are the risk factors why this condition develops to a pregnant woman who's about to deliver? Number one, nagkakaroon tayo ng there is over distension. There is over distension of the uterus. When we talk about over distension of the uterus, okay, common ito sa mga pasyente with multiple pregnancy. So due to the multiple pregnancy or patient with, what is the condition again when there is excessive amniotic fluid? Polyhydramnios. So commonly this happens to patient with polyhydramnios or patient with multiple pregnancy. So what happened here? Nagkakaroon tayo ng overdistension of the uterus. Because of the overdistension of the uterus tendency, the muscles are too stretched that can no longer contract. Okay? The muscles are too stretched that can no longer contract. Another one here is hormonal imbalance. So if there is hormonal imbalance, so insufficient levels of what? What particular hormone is responsible for uterine contraction? Your oxytocin. So there is a decreased level of oxytocin. Decreased level of oxytocin. So because of the decreased level of oxytocin, probably that is a hypotonic contraction. Okay? Number 3 is maternal fatigue. Maternal fatigue. This is also somewhat related to maternal psyche. Okay, the psychological factor. When a woman is too tired already to push or to bear down, take note that oxytocin alone is not enough to deliver the baby. But it requires maternal push o yung tinatawag nating maternal force, which is the bearing down, in order to aid the oxytocin in contracting the fetus. And most of the time, the woman will bear down. Okay, the woman will bear down when the uterus contracts. Okay, so that's your maternal fatigue. You also add it there. Okay, pelvic. There is pelvic or fetal malposition or fetal malposition. Let's review. Sinabi dyan, pelvic and fetal malposition. We'll talk about the pelvis. What is the normal pelvis for women? During that is ideal for delivering a child. So gynecoid. So if a woman does not have a gynecoid, okay, gynecoid pelvis, most probably she would also develop this condition. What else? Fetal malposition. What are examples of your fetal malposition? Your bridge. And what else? Transverse. Okay, meron naman tayong cephalic, but the position is not brow. Ano yung mga cephalic that is not brow? Kasi the normal position for cephalic is your vertex. Can you still remember that? The vertex position. Pero pag hindi vertex position to, kahit cephalic siya, mahirap pa rin siyang ilabas. Like for example, your hyperextended. Okay? Your hyperextended is a cephalic position, however, it's not properly positioned in terms of the head. Okay? So that's your fetal malposition. And another one, number 5 is if there is previous cesarean section. Previous cesarean section. So women with history of cesarean deliveries might have increased risk of uterine atony or hypotonic contraction. Okay, so they may develop, they have high risk of developing uterine atony or hypotonic contractions. Pag sinabi natin uterine atony, you will be discussing that sa mga next meeting natin. That is your what? There is a infrequent or very low number or absence of uterine contractions. Okay? Uterine contractions. And that is your hypotonic contractions. Now, what are the signs and symptoms there? Signs and symptoms of this condition. Okay? Signs and symptoms include weak and infrequent. Ilagay po dyan, there is a weak or infrequent contractions. There is a weak or infrequent contractions. Weak or infrequent contractions. So kung sinabi natin weak and infrequent contractions, regular or irregular? So there is irregular. Okay? There is an irregular. Okay? Sufficient or insufficient? And insufficient. Okay? There is irregular and insufficient strong. Okay? There is a regular and insufficiently strong to cause effective cervical dilatation. Ibig sabihin, the weak and infrequent contraction will not progress into proper cervical dilatation. Without cervical dilatation, effacement would also not occur. So ano lang ang effacement natin? Cervical thinning. While cervical dilatation is cervical widening. Okay? As much as high as or as wide as 10 centimeter. Are we clear? Yes. Okay. Number two. Okay. Prolonged labor. Of course. This is very self-explanatory. Tama ba? Because of the inadequate contraction, you would expect that the labor would also prolong or longer than usual. Number 3. Okay. Slow progression of labor. Slow progression of labor. Ibig sabihin, there is minimal cervical dilatation over several hours. Like for example, for a nulliparous, when you say nulliparous, ano ibig sabihin nun? Nulliparous. Women who are first time to did not get pregnant or get pregnant for the first time. So nulliparous is hindi nabuntis. So basically, premi-gravid. Okay, premi-gravida. Pag ang premi-gravida yung woman, or if the woman is premi-gravid, so tendency, mas magkakaroon siya ng longer period of what? Kung ang kanyang dilatation should progress at least every 6 hours, ang progression nito umaabot ng 12 hours. Okay? So, kaya nagkakaroon tayo ng prolonged descent. Prolonged descent is commonly one of the reasons kung bakit ang mga physician would now decide to undergo cesarean section. Okay? So that is your slow progression of labor. And the last one, number 4, there is increased risk. Increased risk of infection. There is an increased risk of infection. When this will be common? So during the process of labor, so for example, at 4 centimeter, the bag of water is already ruptured. Okay? So immediately dapat yan, in about couple of minutes or hours, at least within 2 hours, dapat may deliver na natin si baby. Tama ba? Yes. However, in this case kasi, since mahina ang contraction, still yung baby nasa loob pa rin. And since the bag of water is already open, we have discussed this during the first reading, what will happen? The mother is now prone to develop infection. Because your amniotic fluid and amniotic sac is considered as sterile, and breaking it open would make the uterus prone to invite more bacteria to come into the uterus. Okay? So those are the symptoms. Now, what are the diagnostic tests? Diagnostic tests. Let's talk about the diagnostic tests. Number 1 is monitoring contraction pattern. Monitoring contraction patterns. Pag sinabi natin monitoring contraction patterns, pwede ba tayong gumamit dito ng inyong CTG? Yes, CTG. Aside from that, pwede tayong gumamit ng tinatawag na topo dynameter. Topo dynameter. Topo dynameter, or also known as your internal uterine pressure catheter. Internal uterine pressure catheter. Internal uterine pressure catheter. And also, diagnostic test, pwede din natin ganyan tinatawag na cervical examination. Cervical examination. When I talk about cervical examination, you'll know it already, tama ba? Yes, your IE, internal examination. So assessing the progress of cervical dilatation and effacement can help you identify if the contraction is effective or not. Because if it's not, if it's taking too long, okay, lalo na kapag accompanied by fetal distress. So what are the signs of fetal distress? Fetal tachycardia or fetal bradycardia, then the physician might opt to go for cesarean section. So hindi ba induced labor? Hindi, kasi nag-labor na siya. Tama ba? Yes, you will no longer induce labor here because the woman is already in labor. Okay? Ngayon, pwede naman natin siyang tulungan dito. So these are the management. So these are the management. So what are the management for patient undergoing hypotonic contraction? Mababa ang kanyang contraction. Yes, possibly the cause is decreased level of oxytocin. In that case, pwede ba tayo mag-administer ng oxytocin? Yes, you administer yung tinatawag natin uterotonics. Uterotonics, which is your oxytocin. Administer oxytocin or your uterosonics. Number 2, if in case the bag of water is not ruptured, can you artificially rupture it? Yes, what is that procedure? When you artificially rupture the bag of water using a sterile needle. Artificial rupture of the membrane. Amniotomy. Nakakatakot, am I right? Amniotomy, okay, that's the artificial. Amniocentesis is the aspiration of your fluids. So amniotomy po, please don't forget the general terms. These are basic terms. When asked in the exam and if you fail to answer it correctly, you'll fail. Ito yung mga bagay na dapat di mo kinakalimutan kasi very basic. All nursing graduates should know this. Pag graduate ka, hindi mo alam yung mga ganyan term, lagot. So please take note of that. Number 3, okay? Maternal position changes. Maternal position changes. So maternal position changes. So maternal position changes, okay? To effectively improve the contractions. So ano pa? Pwede mong gawin yung mga bagay, like for example, exercise. Can you do the exercises? Yes, pwede kong mag-pelvic rock. Ano pa? You can sit on a gym. Ano pa tawag? Gym ball ba yun? The big ball that they use in the gym. So pwede ka mag-pelvic, pwede ka pa mag-squatting. Yes. Walking. Yes. Or katulad ng ginawa ni Miss Ia Villana, you can actually deliver the child through sitting position if you want to. Okay? Through sitting position. Sir, pwede ba yun? Yes. Okay. In some countries, like sa amin sa United States, you can actually deliver sa pool. So they're going to prepare a warm bathtub. Okay, at doon ka mag-deliver to aid. Okay? With of course, with the help of your midwife. Okay? In some cases, hindi naniniwala sa midwife. may mga nag-hire ng duwala. Okay, when you say duwala is a support person. For example, magaling kang duwala during pregnancy. Ang asawa ko kasi walang silbi. Hindi siya marunong mag-support sa akin during pregnancy. In some countries like the US, they actually hire duwala. Yung duwala is actually parang tao na magaling mag-support during pregnancy. Kaya mo yan, friend. Push mo lang, push. O, gano'n lang ang gagawin mo, babayaran ka na niya. Okay, tawag doon duwala. Kasi the United States, okay, gawin mong sideline later on. Pag ikaw ay nasa ibang bansa na, may right? O, diba? Push, mother, push. Yun lang ang gagawin mo, babayaran ka na niya. Depende siguro kung ilang oras. Ang tawag doon, duwala. That's D-U-A-L-A, duwala. Okay, duwala po ang tawag doon. And number 4, lagay mo dyan, number 4, okay? Since siya po ay naubusan ng tubig, tama po ba? Hydration and rest. Okay? Hydration and rest. Okay, hydration and rest. Sir, pwede ba siya mag-dehydrate? Yes. The continuous loss of amniotic fluid may lead to dehydration. Sir, continuous ba na nagpuproduce ang katawan ng amniotic fluid? We answered it already during the first semester. The answer is yes. Because your amnions continuously produce amniotic fluid. So, ang gagawin natin, i-replace natin yung fluids na yon. How to do that? Oral hydration or IVF. Okay, pero IVF natin will focus more on lactate ringers. Syringe. And since possible din na baka mag-hypoglycemic ka because you're exerting more effort, ano mangyayari sa'yo? Pwede kayo mag-hypoglycemia. Kaya kadalasan, you have observed it already sa mga area, anong ginagamit na fluids natin sa mga buntes? D5 LRS or the pink one. Tama po ba? Yes, your D5 LRS. And of course, providing rest periods is very helpful so that the mother will regain the energy to push again. And if in case all of these will not progress, the last resort is going to be cesarean section. Cesarean section. In reality, okay, ginagawa po lamang lahat yan, kaso nga lang parang napakabilis na agad. Yan. Lalo pag private ang ating pasyente, and they can no longer tolerate the pain. They opted to go for CS na lang. Pag ako maghihirap, yun din naman ang end, sabi nila. Okay? So yun yung kadalasan sinasabi nila. So that is the management for your hypotonic contraction. Now, what are the possible complications? Possible complications. Possible complications. So when you develop this condition, these are the possible complications. Number 1, of course, hindi mawawala dyan ang fetal distress. So how to assess now fetal distress? Monitor for FHT, the fetal heart tone, or FHR, fetal heart rate. So if it's fetal tachycardia or fetal bradycardia, it is considered already as a sign of fetal distress. So, kapag hindi natulungan ang baby na mag-descend, okay, the risk of fetal distress is high due to prolonged labor. And just because of the prolonged labor, nagkakaroon ng lack of oxygen. And the lack of oxygen to the fetus would lead to fetal distress. Kaya very important yan. Number 2, increase need for interventions. There is an increased needs for interventions. So lead to the need for interventions such as pag hindi kaya ni mother, mababa, pwede siyang mag-lead into the use of forced delivery. What else? What are the other types of delivery? Vacuum delivery, suction. Have you watched the 3 Idiots? Doon ko person nakita ang vacuum delivery. And of course, cesarean section. Okay? Number 3, postpartum hemorrhage. Let us emphasize again, postpartum hemorrhage o yung tinatawag natin postpartum bleeding. An increase the risk of postpartum hemorrhage due to what? Mabagal ba o mahina ang uterine contraction? Pag mahina o mabagal ang uterine contraction, therefore, the uterus will no longer be contracted. What will happen to the blood vessel? Constrict or dilate? Magkakaroon tayo na? So if the uterus is no longer contracting effectively, what will happen to the contraction force? Decrease. Pag mabagal o mababa ang contraction force, what will happen to the blood vessel? Constrict or dilate? Dilate. Kasi nga, yung contraction causes the constriction. Parang it applies pressure to the blood vessel so that it will constrict. Because if the blood vessel is dilated, what will happen? More bleeding occurs. Hence, postpartum hemorrhage. So should you monitor postpartum for signs of hypovolemic shock? Yes. What blood pressure? What blood pressure? What vital signs should you monitor? Blood pressure, the pulse rate, and the respiratory rate. But most of the time, it's the pulse rate. Kasi ang initial natin is hypotension. Hypotension. Taki-taki is already the compensatory mechanism. Are we clear? Yes. Are you sure? Yes. Okay. Preventive measures. How to prevent this to happen? Preventive measures. Ilagay mo ko dyan. Preventive measures. Preventive measures. For the preventive measures, of course, kailangan hindi mawawala ang prenatal care. Prenatal care is very important to ensure that the mother has good prenatal care, include management that can reduce now the risk of complication labor. So pag ikaw ay kompleto ang inyong prenatal care, mas lesser ang chance of develop complication. Now, let's us review. What is the minimum prenatal visit? How many again? 8. Okay? So minimum prenatal visit, 8 prenatal visit po yan. Okay, 8 prenatal visit. If you can still remember, meron tayo 8 to 12 week for the one. For 2 is 28. For the third one is 26. Fourth one is on the 38. Fifth one is 34. 6 is 36. 7 is 38. And 8 is on 40th week. Okay, on the 31st week, induce labor. Pag nasa 41st na siya, 41st week, induce labor. That is your prenatal care or prenatal visit. So if you have a complete prenatal visit, you are at lower risk. Okay, lesser risk of developing complication. Number 2, labor support. Labor support. So continuous labor support such as, ano yung sinabi ko kanina? Duwala. Okay? Duwala. Duwala. O, yun na tayo. Ganyan po ata yun. Or dula. Ano ito is dula or duwala. Okay. Emotional support. Okay? Or dula. Ganyan ata. Duwala or dula. Okay? Ano pa? Okay, or healthcare provider. Okay, support from doula or healthcare provider. Kaya nga, di ba, pati sa EINC natin, pag yan, pinaktis nyo. O pag ikaw ang assist, anong gagawin mo? Mother, kailan ka magpupush? I-push mo po kapag naramdaman mo tumigas. Huwag po putulin. Pag hindi nyo na po kaya, mabilis ang hinga lang din, push again. Hanggat matigas pa si uterus. Ginawa mo ngayon. Minsan bumubulong ka lang. Parang magkukulang ng tubigin. Okay? So labor support, okay? Ano pa? Manage stress. Due to hormonal imbalances, you would expect that this woman is also under stress. So emotional support is very important. Okay? Kasi nga, yung stress mo pwede mag-lead into fatigue. Pag pagod ka siya, fatigability, makakapag-push ka ba siya? No longer. Kaya nga, very important ang labor support. Okay? Number 3, position during labor. Position during labor. Okay? So, yung position during labor, okay? Position during labor. Ay, by the way, pag duwala pala, non-medical yan ang kadalasan. Non-medical. They are just really good in accompanying pregnant women to deliver their child. Okay? Actually, duwala, nag-start yan, one pa lang. First trimester pa lang. Kontrata din yan, hanggang manganak yung babae. Kung may extension pa yung kontrata nila, even after delivery, pwede. So, position during labor, okay, of course, lithotomy position, yung kadalasan nakikita natin, but other positions might also be followed. Like for example, pwede man yung sitting position during delivery. Okay? So that's your position during labor. Do you have any question? Question? Again, pag sinabi natin hypotonic contraction, malakas or mahina? Frequent or infrequent? Sufficient or insufficient? Regular or irregular? Sabihin, nakapag-push ba na maigi si mother? No. Kasi mahina ba ang contraction? Possible at pinaka-common is mababang oxytocin. Paano ito na manage? Pwede ba magbigay ng oxytocin? Pwede ba change in position? Are we clear? Yes. So that is your hypotonic contraction. Do you have any question for that? Wala. Okay, next topic tayo.